The message appeared on a Tuesday afternoon, while I was waiting for a meeting to start. Just a small notification on my screen. A name I hadn't seen in 12 years. My father. For a long moment I didn't open it. The way you hesitate before touching something fragile. Or something that might still be sharp. I leaned back in my chair and stared at the name, trying to connect it to the person it once belonged to. But the first memory that came wasn't his face. It was my bedroom door. Half open. My sister standing inside the room while I was still packing. She was already moving her clothes into my closet. No one had told her to wait. The night I left home was strangely quiet, no shouting. No dramatic fight. Just the dull sound of plates being cleared after dinner, and my father speaking in the same tone he used when discussing bills or repairs. "You're 18 now," he said. "You're not worth the trouble anymore." He didn't yell it. That might have been easier to understand. Instead it sounded like a conclusion he'd reached days earlier. My mother didn't say anything. She stared at the table like the wood grain had suddenly become fascinating. I remember nodding. Not because I agreed. Because there didn't seem to be anything else to do. By the time I carried my duffel bag upstairs, my sister was already standing in my doorway. "Dad said I could have this room." I remember thinking I'm still in it. But she had that cautious excitement people get when they're offered something they've secretly wanted for years. She wasn't cruel about it. Just early. I packed the rest of my clothes while she measured where her dresser might go. The first night I slept in my car felt unreal. The second night felt colder. The third night felt normal. That was the moment I understood something about survival. Human beings adapt faster than they should. The years after that weren't heroic, no sudden transformation, just slow construction. I worked wherever I could. Grocery stores, warehouses, late night delivery shifts. Sometimes I slept on couches. Sometimes in rented rooms with strangers. Eventually I enrolled in community college, because one of my coworkers mentioned financial aid forms. I studied between shifts, graduated. Got a job that paid enough to stop counting coins at gas stations. Then a better one. Then another. The life I built didn't feel dramatic. It felt assembled. Like furniture you put together piece by piece without looking at the instructions. And through all of it, I never called home. Not once. At first it was anger. Later it was something quieter, distance. So when the message appeared 12 years later, it didn't bring rage. It brought confusion. I opened it, 3 sentences. "I saw your profile online. Looks like you're doing well. Maybe we could talk sometime." No apology, no explanation, just that. I stared at the screen for a long time. Part of me expected to feel something larger. But what I mostly felt was tired curiosity. Why now? I closed the laptop without replying. For 2 days the message sat there unanswered. But something about it kept pulling at me, not emotionally, exactly. More like a loose thread. Eventually I opened it again and began typing. Then typing again. Anger would have been easy. So would silence. But neither felt honest anymore. So I wrote something simple. "I saw your message. You should know something before we talk. The night you told me to leave. I slept in my car for 3 days." I remember that part clearly. What I don't remember clearly anymore is waiting for you to care. At some point over the years that feeling just stopped. I built a life anyway. "I hope you're doing alright." That was it. No accusations. No request for an apology. Just the truth. I sent it and went back to work. Later I would learn what happened next from my cousin. Apparently my father read the message sitting in his truck outside a hardware store. He didn't reply immediately. He just stayed there. Engine off. Phone in his hand. For nearly an hour. My cousin said when he finally came inside the store his eyes were red, not dramatic crying. Just the kind that happens when something quiet finally lands. A week passed. Then another. Eventually a second message arrived, shorter this time. "I didn't know you slept in your car. I'm sorry, I should have done better." I read the words carefully. 12 years earlier I might have needed them desperately. Now they felt like something else. Acknowledgement. Late, but real. I didn't answer right away. Not because I was angry. But because I realized something important. For the first time in my life, I wasn't responding as someone seeking approval. I was just deciding whether I wanted a conversation. That kind of freedom takes years to notice. I closed the message and looked out the office window. Cars moved slowly through the afternoon traffic. People going home. Families waiting somewhere. For a long time I watched them without moving. The door between my father and me wasn't locked. But it wasn't wide open either. And strangely, that felt like the most honest place it had ever been.